Hey, can you hear me?
Welcome to the chat, mate. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to jump in because you're talking about some of the stuff that I absolutely love about Silverpunk's work, which is just the kind of presentation and the I don't know, it has like a voice is the way that I describe it that I think is both cool for itself, but also I think for what it's done for the silver community of the people that I talk to about silver pouring. I think you've really shaped this community for the rest of us, which I think is pretty cool.
Oh, mate, I don't know what to say. Thank you, buddy. It's that's so nice to hear because the one thing that I said to myself pretty early on is like, I want people to look at something and know that I've bought it. That was my one of my
Absolutely.
main things in my head. People have to, before they've even looked at the hallmark or seen a logo, they've got to look at it and go, "That's Silverpunk." And that
Yeah.
was my main objective.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely think that you achieved it. So by training, I'm a sociologist, and I specifically study taste and aesthetics.
Oh,
And so like this is the kind of stuff that I study for a living. And so I think that that's one of the things that really drew me both to your work, but also just to this thing. Yeah, the way that what makes a good artist is that you can tell their work without it being signed or anything else, that you immediately know it. They have this strong voice. So yeah, it's cool to see that in silver, like that. This is a medium that you can achieve that in, because it seems like it would be hard to do.
yeah, it's so interesting because like I've had this conversation with a couple of people about my YouTube channel. So what do you do? What's your channel about? And I try and explain. It's like how do I say like yeah, I don't paint with silver, but it's like kind of like trying to explain him. I do what painters do, but my
Hmm.
canvas is silver. It's so hard to explain. It's like I paint with no, you can't. It's so hard to explain it. It's just like oh yeah, I'll just pour silver and it make a picture. It has a nice picture on it, but it's yeah, that don't sound very cool, does it? But there's got to be an arty type of way of saying it. But it's like yeah, how do you
Yeah.
express
So
that?
yeah. So when I talk to students about like what happens with art is like we tend to think of the pigments as being just the paint or the medium or whatever. But what a skilled artist does, I think, is that they manipulate ideas and symbols, and those are the pigments that you're using. And so, it's the specific the fact that your pieces come in those pieces, like it's my brain just kind of shut off. Uh,
Like a
like the
mosaic
panels.
panels. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
panels.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like that it that is part of the pigment, right? That's it's gives this feeling of order and purpose that I think comes across really strong in the piece, and kind of forces you to think of it like this isn't just a chunk of silver. Like there's some intention behind this, right? So,
yeah, yeah. No, no, that makes sense. It's like it's difficult when you're coming up to well, you know yourself because I love absolutely love that Britannia
wait,
panel you've
thanks.
done. I think that's really
Yeah.
cool, really cool.
Yeah, it's been interesting for me, um, kind of almost watching my own style develop, because I didn't set out to do anything like that. Like in each of the pieces that I've kind of designed have been like an idea on their own. But I was looking at them today and I was like, oh, this is almost like a series. Like because I did a peace bar, which is based on the American peace dollar. I
Yeah,
did the Britannia, and then I also have the samurai piece, and it's like each of those are about a nation or like a country or a land of people, and it's like their ideas and their like patriotic imagery, and I don't know, and it's there. It's I didn't set out to have a style, but it's like the backgrounds and I don't know some of those elements that just show up a lot. It's just the way that my brain works, and it kind of comes through in the medium.
yeah. I think it's really difficult for me. I can't. It's really difficult to explain when someone asks me sometimes how do you do stuff? How do you do? It? And I'm like, well, I can't. It just kind of like, I'll look at an image and it'll be like, yeah, I really like that. Oh, that'd be really cool, but it's not really cyberpunk. And then I finesse it, change it. Or I could be looking at someone else's. I've got an AI artist I absolutely love to do some fabulous images, but some of them just wouldn't work for my type of thing. And it's so frustrating because I'm like, that's a really cool image and it'd work so well in silver, but it's just not cyberpunk. So some days it's really difficult not to do stuff, but it's like, no, I've got this vision. So it's like, no, that's not me.
Yeah. I kind of faced the kind of the same thing. So when I first got into it, like I was trying to come up with the images and stuff like that. And I dabbled a little bit in the like ChatGPT stuff and the AI stuff, but it was like, it wasn't my, it wasn't mine, right? Like, or it wasn't like my vision. That's not that wasn't a medium that was working for me. And it's not, that wasn't how my brain was working. And it was like, no, these images aren't quite right. And so I kind of fooled around with a couple of different things and settled on, really by accident, this kind of like digital collage method that I've been using. It's just it's fascinating how these things aren't necessarily intentional. They just kind of arise, and like you pick the tools, but it's more like the tools pick you, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. And it's quite funny you should mention like your collage way of doing things. I've actually used that. This I can't say what I've done it with because it's something I've got in the pipeline. But I have used that collage. I have used that collage technique in one of the designs I've done this week because it was the only way of doing it. There was no other way of being outside. Like, oh, I'm going to have to cut and paste stuff here and rotate this here to get it here and it pushed me to learn. It's like, right, I need to work this out how to do it quite quick in a week and it's done and it works and it's great but it opens up for me now. It's like, well, okay, I've done it there. I can combine this with other, a bit like yourself. I'm like, if there's an image that isn't quite right, I can cut that little bit out of that one that I like, and then it can go over here. So it's just fabulous watching all the different techniques, and there's no right or wrong. We all have our different ways of going at it.
Yeah. Again, it's all just tools. I have discovered. So what's funny is like I got into silver in general because it's. I'm sorry if I'm hijacking this. This was just an exciting conversation.
That's brilliant. I love it.
I
love it.
But I got into silver as a way of like, I don't know, shrinking down my hobbies into something that I wasn't going to spend a lot of money on, and then I was like, ooh, I want to pour metal. So I got into 3D printing as a result of that, and then it's just like it's just I'm now spending money on all of these other different things. So it was a total failure for the original thing. But I've learned digital sculpting, which is something I had no idea how to do, but it came about because a lot of like the programs and stuff, like one of the ones that the main one that I use. So I use Sculpt-OK. To convert my things, which I got from you. So thank you for that. But a lot of times, especially with faces, it doesn't do them well, or they're just things that don't come out right. And so then I found myself going into Blender and re-sculpting them, and then realizing that like digital sculpting is very much like physical sculpting. It's just like, something had to click in my mind before I could understand that. But as a result of this, I've gotten into digital sculpting, which I now use for 3D printing stuff as well. So,
it's as you say, it's amazing what you can do now. As you say, Sculpt-OK is pretty good for some things, not great for it. Faces for any AI is very, very difficult because basically, if you've got like, I don't know, say a photograph of someone, I get this asked a lot, and I'm like, I can't. What AI will do, will take that photograph and it won't exactly be the same because they'll use similar images it's got stored or out there to try and make it right. So you kind of get you don't get the exact copy that you're starting with. So it is quite difficult. So you've got to, when you're doing your design, you've got to bear that in mind, and then like, right, this will need tweaking afterwards. And like you say, you've got to go into Blender, use the clay tools, like, you know, push here, thumb this up here, and you know, and it's Blender is for me,
It's a nightmare.
I can remember the very first time I logged into it, because my mate said, I was like, my mate, I've got a few friends who are computer geeks basically, and he's like, you need to use Blender for 3D editing. I was like, what the hell's Blender? And I'll tell you, I opened it up and I was like, nah, this is not for me. This is just this is mind blowing. Yeah, it is so scary. Bad. I couldn't even move around. I was like, why can't I move? What's going on?
Yeah, I almost break my computer with every single piece that I make. Like the Britannia piece that I did in Blender. Usually I do most of the editing in Photoshop and then just do some minor changes once I get it over into Blender. But with the Britannia piece, there were so many elements that needed to be balanced just right that I separated it all, and I had about, I don't know, 15 to 20 assets in Blender. And like, you get to that point, and you know, I don't have really a design computer. I just have a standard computer that I use for my work. And like every little change, it's just like your computer just shuts off and it's like, all right, we're going to take 30 minutes to process this little move that you've done. And it may or may not work.
Blender. Yeah. I'm totally feeling that pain. I mean, touch wood now though. I've recently had a new computer, so it's a lot better for me on that front. But yeah, my old computer, I was like, come on, just waiting for it to come on. Please don't crash. Come on, you can do it. Yeah. But it's that's the thing. You learn. You kind of like know the limits of what you can do, you know, with what you've got, and that's what I like trying to do. Whatever it is, be it my YouTube videos or the pouring or the designing, you got to push your equipment to the limit before you move on. I think. Because I mean, I still record all my YouTube videos on an iPhone 8. That I've got two iPhones, one that's my actual phone I use, and just another one for videoing, and I just use them too, and it's wicked, you know. And
that's an element I haven't even. For other things, I've been toying with the idea of doing some like YouTube or whatever for like sociology stuff. But I've been putting it off, and GSH has been bugging me to like, you should do some process videos, and I'm like, I don't know that I can do that. Like, I don't know, like, I'm sure I could, but I don't know that I have the bandwidth to do both that and the actual design process. So.
GSH should do more videos. That's all you need to say to him. Yeah, let's see these big paws, man, because they're wicked. Yeah. I want to see the flames. I want to see the danger. He'd do really well. I'm so
jealous. I'm so jealous of all of you people in the UK because like I would love to get a GSH piece because I think they're amazing, and I know firsthand like how difficult those large pores are, especially in stuff like copper. Oh, like I don't know how he does it. That's hard. But getting one of GSH's pieces, which I'm assuming weigh about 40 pounds a piece, shipped to the United States would just cost a fortune.
Oh yeah, I think I can't remember. I think I bought the first. It might have been the first one he put up for auction. I've got it. It's on the shop. I'm looking behind, so I'm away from the mic. It's a Viking standing with two axes up, and that I think that's over 2 kilos. And it's not massive. Well, it's big, but it's not massive, and that's over 2 kilos. Yeah. Some of the pours he does, it's physical as well. It must be to hold all that metal, try and pour it with finesse, and it's a skill. I couldn't do it. No way.
It's a completely different skill set. Again, as somebody that like works in I interact with the art school at the university that I teach at, and like so I see like students like MFA students that their final dissertation piece or whatever is pouring metal and stuff like that, and there's a lot that goes into it, and it is not easy to achieve. And some of the pieces that he's done, I'm like, this could be this could be a thesis piece. I mean, at least for like, undergrad and probably for graduate school. Like this is some real work, like real quality work that he has done.
Yeah, oh yeah, some of the and also what he's got to contend with. See, I'm a one trick pony. I'll just do little things
Yeah,
in silver, which is easy. But
yeah.
he's got to learn how copper pours, how zinc pours, how
Uh,
Nordic gold. From pour to pour. He's changing what metal is, so
yeah,
it's really hard to understand what's going on. And I'm like,
yeah,
I just like because I speak to him quite a bit because he asks me
yeah.
questions and stuff, and I'm like, mate, I've got no idea. I can't help you. You just got to go and do
I
it.
think,
Just
man,
repetition.
I think we need to have a challenge for Silverpunk here to pour some pieces in bronze. Uh,
Oh,
there,
it's
there,
beyond me. It's beyond me. I'm
I,
silver only.
you say, I mean, silver is awesome. It's great. I don't. Bronze is it's a weird. So bronze, the type of bronze that I do is ancient bronze, which is like 90% copper and 10% tin. Um, there's something magical about it. I'll say that. Each of the different metals have their own like magic feel to them. So yeah, it's definitely worth experimenting some with.
Can I just
Never say never. Never say never. But
Yeah, fair enough.
can I just jump in 1 second?
Oh yeah.
Because we have a new person join the chat, and it's Craven. Hopefully.
oh, good evening, Craven.
Good evening, everyone. I'll be honest, I wanted to join in because this has been a fabulous chat. I've been having a couple of beers and a barbecue with the family. I don't know how to turn the volume up. It's really quiet. I can't get you guys on speaker, but I just wanted to pop in and say hello. You guys are awesome.
Thanks, dude. Thank you very much. So you're
Yeah.
awesome.
Wicked stuff.
That's wicked. It's so cool. It's this is beyond my dreams. Sorry, I interrupted that wonderful conversation.
Sorry, I interrupted to begin with. So
No, buddy.
I was just about to probably like step back. I will say I've been loving the stuff that with Stacking with Craven has been doing. I think that's really great. So many great there's so much great stuff coming out of Stacker Social. I guess I always feel something of an outsider because again I'm from the stateside, but I have really found a home here that I didn't find necessarily in like the Reddit communities and kind of the stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Like the vibe here is so much better than other online communities around silver and metals and stuff. So I thank you all for that, especially the founders for creating something that's this special. Pretty great.
Can I ask you a question, Pub?
Yeah, certainly.
Is that what you have experienced in America or generally outside of Stacker Social? What you just said.
So I will say that in the United States, I feel like I mean, and I think this is probably true of silver and gold, like the stacking community in general, but I think more so in the United States, is that it's got a lot of ties to like the prepper community and which I'm that's fine and everything, but I don't know what I find in a lot of the spaces surrounding silver and stuff is I don't know, there's a lot of it's almost antisocial. Like that's the thing is it's all like it devolves into people just talking about they're going to they have it's like these fantasies about the end of the world in which it's them against the world, right? And as somebody that like studies societies, it's like that's not like even if we have like an apocalypse, that's not what's going to happen. Like humanity or as a species, we succeed because we're social and we interact with other people. And so I don't know, I just found it to be a little bit unwelcoming, a lot of those spaces. And I think that it probably is a little bit of United States, the individualism of the United States, like that's especially on fire right now. But I don't know. Yeah, but so a little column A, a little column B. But I find this place to be a lot. I don't know. Yeah, we're having a chat like this. Like this isn't happening in other spaces like this.
Well, I think that's that. I think that's we got to give kudos there to 365 Sci and TSC for the way they but basically set it all up and the kind of I don't want to say rules. Well, there is some rules, isn't there? But by the ethos and the vibe that they've created, they set it off from the beginning, and it's just kind of carried on. Yeah, the culture.
Yeah,
that's
norms.
the word. Yeah.
I think Sandy Millington. I want to give credit to this. He said that Stackers Social is what social media was meant to be. It's social media at maximum output, because this community is so special, because it's not a case of people putting things online and waiting to see how many likes they get or negative comments or toxicity. Everyone is so supportive, and I say this so many times and I'll say it again. It's an absolute pleasure to be a part of this community. And like you said, guys, credit to 365, Cy the Soundman, and TSC, the Stat Collector, for creating such a wonderful community. It really is amazing, and I can't wait to see where it goes in the future.
Yeah. I can track my own trajectory, at least as far as somebody that like makes stuff, 100% from Stacker Social. Like, I would not be into silver pouring if it wasn't for this community. Like, I joined this because I was interested in silver, and then I think I won a giveaway from Valui. That was a brass piece, and I was like, well, this is kind of cool. It's not silver, like, but it's a brass piece, and I got it, and I was like, as soon as I held it in hand, I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Like, it's something that has been made, and like, yeah, and just everybody was so friendly. And then I contacted GSH because I was wanting to know like where he was getting his designs, like some about his process, and he was immediately like, here's all the things that I do. This is how I do it. And it's like, and then I mentioned that I was like, it'd be great if we had like if there was a room where we could discuss this or whatever. He's like, all right. He was and so he, I guess, petitioned to have the Porous Lounge done. And then I contacted I through the Porous Lounge. I talked to Silverpunk, and he gave me all kinds of great information on how to do this stuff. And yeah, I don't know. Everybody's just so great. Yeah.